Come hang out. I got a surprise for you today. But first, let's do our intro. Oh, if I could only remember how the screen share works. You know, usually, Jim, Rhonda and I talk through the intro. I like to talk through the intro.
I like the intro. I think it's really cute. I like the jokes in it. It works for me.
I know I told everybody you're a funny guy.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not. Just funny looking.
Well, hello everyone, Ivana Taylor here, and if you notice, Rhonda is looking a little bit different today because it's not Rhonda, it's my friend Jim Beach, our special guest today. Hi, Jim.
Hello, thanks for having me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and I got to tell everybody, Rhonda is so sad that she couldn't be here, but I want you guys to send her some really, really good vibes. Her brother has been in the hospital. He's had surgery. She spent the night in ICU. They kicked her out this morning, and she said that she was just like really needs to be there for her brother. So love, love, love to Rhonda's brother. And in the meantime, I know you guys are so, so, so eager to hear about this passion topic that we're going to be talking about. And for that, I'm going to introduce my co-host, Jim Beach. Hello, Jim. Why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about School for Startups and what you're up to?
Well, School for Startups was a McGraw-Hill book that we published about 3 years ago that tried to encapsulate our thesis that anyone can be an entrepreneur if you forget about the three things that everyone believes entrepreneurship is about. If you forget about creativity, risk, and passion, the three things that normally define entrepreneurship, we believe that anyone can be a successful entrepreneur. And so that's what School for Startups is devoted to, showing anyone that they can go and start a business. You know, maybe not a $100 million business or maybe not a $10 million business, but I believe anyone can start a $1 million business that throws off $200,000 in profit a year for you and your family. I believe anyone can do that. I don't think there are any special qualifications, and that's what we're devoted to teaching here.
That is so exciting, Jim. And I think a lot of our audience is having heart palpitations right now because we have been taught forever and ever that it is all about the passion, that it's all about creativity, and It's all about, you know, following your dream. Are you saying that's not so?
I think those are the excuses that people use for not being an entrepreneur. Like, how many times have you heard this? Well, I can't take that risk right now. My boys are about to go off to college, but right after they get out of college, boy, I'm going to start something then. Or when I get my lightning bulb moment, when God strikes me with creativity, boom, I'm going to start my business when I get that brilliant idea. Or this, when I discover what I'm passionate about and figure out how to make money doing what I'm passionate about, I'm going to start a business then. Well, these are excuses that keep people sitting on the sidelines, and that instead of fulfilling their dreams and their fantasies and maybe having a more productive, better economic situation for their family, that they just sit on the sidelines at a job that they hate, or even worse, unemployed, looking for a job, when during that time they could be starting a business with almost no creativity, almost no risk, and certainly no passion.
So what do you say to people, you know, a lot of our coaches and consultants out there, I mean, gosh, you know, we're all in the business of helping small business owners fulfill on their dream and fulfill on their passion. How do you tell people to get started? And I got to say, I'm right there with you. I have spent the bulk of my, young adult life and now my middle-aged life thinking, oh, I don't know what I want to do. What do I want to be when I grow up? How do I become passionate? And, you know, after we talked about how I got into business after my experience actually at this particular country club.
Right.
My question is, how do you, if you don't have to say more about this, I don't have any passion,
Right.
You know, just talk about that and how that stops us.
Sure. I have tons of passions. I have a passionate, loving relationship with my wife and my family, and I have a little bit of passion for religion, but I'm not a very good religious person, right? But at least I have a passion for that. I don't understand people that have passion for purses or consulting services or shoes or new computers or iPads. Those are not things that you're supposed to be passionate about. I am, however, very passionate about some other things. I'm passionate about freedom. I'm passionate about working when I want to. I'm passionate about controlling my own destiny and my own lifestyle. If I want to go to Disney, and I love Disney, I am passionate about taking my kids to Disney. That means I have to make $5,000. Well, how do I do that? I work hard as a business person, as a startup entrepreneur, make some money, and therefore I can do the things I'm passionate about. I also, Ivana, love woodworking. I love to make furniture. However, I'm really, really horrible at it. And anything that I build that you sit on, it collapses. And so I've learned that I can't make money doing my passion, which is being with my family. No one's going to pay me for that. And no one's going to pay me to be a woodworker yet because I'm not very good at it. However, I'm passionate about going to ballet practice at 2 and soccer practice at 3 and then staying up all night and working if I want to. In other words, I'm passionate about the process of being an entrepreneur. I'm passionate about the lifestyle that I get from being an entrepreneur, but I will sell almost anything that is moral and mostly legal if it will give me another week at Disney World.
Oh, I am so glad you brought this up, because I actually think, and I would love for everyone to just jump in here if you've got an opinion about this, but I've been watching women entrepreneurs, and I've been watching men entrepreneurs, and what you said about being passionate about a process, I see a lot with guys. Now, I myself, just to share with you, I am passionate, just probably like your wife, and if you have a teenage daughter, shoes, right? I'm nuts about shoes, and like you, I don't sell shoes. So
I had a shoe business. I did sell shoes for a while, and I did it because it was a bet. It wasn't something that I wanted to do myself. But if you love shoes, then you should start a shoe business. There's nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with that. My point is, I don't want you to stop and sit on the sidelines waiting to find a passion or waiting to find a business model that works for your particular passion. So I'm still not good enough as a woodworker, but I'm still going to go start something else. So find a business that you can enjoy. And I promise you there's thousands of those, and we can give some examples. I can tell the story of the business that my wife started. And we are passionate about the extra income. I'm passionate, Ivana, about the electricity not getting turned off. I'm passionate about car payments getting paid on time, And so I'm a little bit more practical. I would love it if I could do something that I was passionate about. And that's like the panacea. That's the unicorn. But if you can't, don't use it as an excuse to sit on the sidelines and do nothing.
I hear you, and so what do you say to someone like me? For example, I mean, I've had business opportunities come to me over and over again, and if I were passionate about process, and I am passionate about the stuff you're passionate about, and I'm sure lots of other folks are too, but I just can't, people ask me, how come you do what you do? And it's like, God, I can't imagine doing anything else because I just don't care about it. So I'm thinking that a lot of our audience is in that same boat. And so how, if a subject is something you're passionate about, do you know what I'm saying?
Sure, I do.
How do you turn that into a business?
Okay, well, I'll give the example of my wife because this is just a great story, and I think it reveals a lot of ways you can shift your passion in other areas. So because of my existence and being an entrepreneur, about 17 months ago, I challenged my wife to start a business, and she had to use all of my rules, which meant that we didn't care where the idea came from, zero creativity. As a matter of fact, she bought a system off of the shelf. She bought one of these gurus systems for $50. Zero creativity. Her entire investment was $535. Zero risk. We can afford to lose $535. And she's passionate about some of the stuff she sells, but here's what the business is. She buys stuff at wholesale and sells it on this little website that you may have heard of at retail. So she buys whatever she wants. She started off with baby items because we have a 3-year-old in the house. And so she is passionate about baby items. She knows a lot about them. She knows which ones would sell on this little website you may have heard of called Amazon. About half of the stuff sold on Amazon is never owned by Amazon. It's owned by people like my wife. And we spend about 3 hours a week now on this business. In her first year of business, Savannah. Now let me ask you, how many people are going to be passionate about the next sentence I just said? $535 investment, first year of business, $68,000 of profit, 3 hours a week of work. 3 hours a week of work, $68,000. Can you not be passionate about this, people? I don't care what I'm just, we do it together. We have boxes we have to stuff and label. We sit down at the TV and we put on a TV show that we both like, and we do it together. And it's family bonding time. Sometimes the little 3-year-old helps and has learned how to put stickers on for us. And I'll be honest, we're passionate about the extra income. She does stuff that she likes. She sells products that she likes and supports and would use herself. But we're more passionate about $68,000, $68,000, $68,000. I mean, let's be honest and realistic here. If you don't have a job right now, you don't need to be passionate about what you're doing. You just need to make money. If you already have a job and you want to transition into entrepreneurship, you need to do it with as little risk as possible. Keep your existing day job and start something on the side. And it doesn't matter if you're passionate about it. Don't you just want the money? And I hate to be so crass and commercialistic and capitalist, but I also am very pragmatic. I have to keep the lights on. I want to go to Disney. I'm passionate about the process, the freedom that all of that gives me and my family. I'm passionate about the changes, and this is so cool. Listen to this. 17 months ago, I took my wife to a trade show to look for products to sell at her Amazon business. And she would stand behind me and whisper in my ear and say, "Jim, go talk to that person. Go talk to that person and find out if they'll sell to us." Well, 12 months later, she went to the trade show, and I couldn't keep up with her because she was running off by herself, talking to booths left and right. I couldn't keep up with her. Her personality has changed in the last 17 months as her confidence has grown. As she's learned that if I die, she can support herself. That if she wants to start another business, she can start another business. That's really cool.
I hope that this entire audience is getting what you're saying, because actually it reminds me, and I was telling you about this book, and I don't know, I disagree with you a little bit, Jim. I think this is kind of, oh, is that the 3-year-old?
Yes, my 3-year-old just walked in the door.
Bring him in. Or is it a her?
It is a beautiful boy, William the Fifth.
Hi, baby. Say hi. Say hi to all the people. We're going to get tons of viewers just from having a baby on.
Yeah, we should always have a baby in our lap.
Exactly. But I think that what you're saying, Jim, that I really, really love is like this book I was telling you about. It's called So Good They Can't Ignore You, written by a guy named Cal Newport. And what he says is that a lot of people make the mistake of looking for their passion and waiting for their passion to like bite them in the hiney. And where real passion comes from and real success comes from is by getting good at something. And I think the story about your wife speaks exactly to that point. Maybe she wasn't nuts about the process of selling on Amazon, but she kind of got good at it, like you said. And when she went to the trade show, like this passion skill set grew for her, right?
That's true, and I'd like to sort of interject another idea. There's something called the corridor principle. Imagine you're standing at a long, long hallway, and you see all the way down the hallway 100 yards, and there's doors off to the left and the right. You can't see into those doors because of your perspective. But as you start down the path of entrepreneurship and walk down this corridor, opportunities that never presented themselves are now visible to the left and to the right. And so maybe that's where her passion is, and maybe the only way you'll get to your passion is by starting down the corridor, just getting started, doing something, and maybe that will lead to a business that you can be beyond passionate about. Maybe because of her Amazon business, she will discover something that sets her heart afire, and she invents a new baby product because of it and takes over as bigger than Google. But at least she's moving down the path. At least she's getting started and not sitting on the sofa and wondering, what could my life be like?
I love that. And so when you and I were talking about, I want you to talk about School for Startups, what you're doing there in Atlanta and all over the country and all over the world. And did you say it started with a bet?
Actually, it did. About 10 years ago, I was teaching entrepreneurship at Georgia State University, and at the very, very beginning of the semester, I said this entrepreneurship stuff is really easy, and they were like, no, it's pretty hard, and I was like, no, it's easy, and I made them a bet that I could start a business that semester and make it cash flow positive by the end of the semester, all startup capital repaid, and they got to choose the country and the industry that I started the business in. And this was right after 9/11, and so they chose Pakistan and furniture. So I had 3.5 months to create a successful Pakistani furniture company. Well, I won that bet, and it was a really cool product, and I actually rigged it by, figuring out some things to make it, so I didn't have to sell that much. One of the things I figured out was that if I limited my startup capital to, say, $5,000, I didn't have to sell that much to be profitable. So there's a good trick there. If you limit your investment, it's easier to make money. And so that's one of the rules, is I don't risk money to start a business. No more than $5,000 is one of the things in the book. And then actually we did that several times, and a reporter from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution heard this story and said, that would make a great book. And I said, well, I'll bet you if you can find a publisher, I'll write the book. And a week later, McGraw-Hill said yes, and so it turned into a book.
I have a feeling, and I'm so pathetic, but you said you wrote this book 3 years ago. Wasn't that one of our Small Business Book Awards entries, nominees, maybe even a winner? I don't know.
No, it wasn't at all. I didn't even know about that when the book came out. It wasn't, I've since learned about it, but at the time I wasn't even smart enough to submit it. And my book sales, Ivana, are, the classic J-curve. Started very strong, went to 0, and now are slowly back to like 100 books a week or something like that, which is very good. But it's taken me 3 years to learn how to sell books.
Oh, that's hysterical. So before I let you go,
can I submit it now?
No. You'll have to write another one.
I'll do that.
And I think you're on to something there with this passion, creativity. I just love, love, love what you're focused on. So tell us, if we sign up for what you're passionate about, where do we get more information? How do you spend your time? How are you making your money right now? How do we follow you, Jim?
Right. If you buy the book, on the last page of the book, there's a code that gets you into an 80-hour video library that we have created. So my co-author, Chris Hanks, is the head of the entrepreneurship program at the University of Georgia. And he's just like me. He's not a PhD. He's an entrepreneur that taught, at the collegiate level. And the two of us are storytellers. We've started 16 businesses between the two of us. And we took every single topic that we could think of, about 115 different issues that entrepreneurs need to be thinking about through our particular filter of low risk, low creativity, and low passion. And so how does that apply to marketing? If we have no money, how are we going to do marketing? How are we going to build a website if we have no marketing, if we have no money? All of these things have to be dealt with. And so the 80-hour library is there at schoolforstartups.com. If you don't have the code, it's $30. But if you buy the book, for $9, you can get 80 hours of video of us telling stories, answering every question we can about entrepreneurship. So
I love that. Love, love, love. So what I want to do is anything else, and what's your bit of advice you want to give to our viewers today? Let's say you've been, let's say you've started this business, you've been doing it for a while, and you're like, I'm passionate about this, I should be doing better. What are the top first 3 things someone should be doing if they've got a business and they're not making money? You know what I mean? They're on that passion treadmill and they're not making money. What do you tell them?
well, I would really analyze, first you need to know why you're not making money. Second, think about, is this passion something that is a sustainable business? Just because I love party planning, can I make enough money in West Virginia as a party planner? Maybe it just doesn't make sense. And so again, I would challenge people to think outside of their passion, and maybe learn to be so crass as to say, my passion is making a lot of money so I can go to blank more, so that I can, maybe your passion is sailing, and if you start a business that allows you to sail more, it's just an alternative way of looking at the whole idea of passion. So number 1, analyze your numbers and figure out why you're not making money. Number 2, analyze whether passion really should be part of the mix or not. I would propose the alternative that being passionate for God, Yahweh, Buddha, Muhammad, your wife, your family, and Disney World is enough.
I absolutely, absolutely love that. So everybody, I have got to wind this down because my battery is ticking, and I want you guys, hey, bring that baby back to say goodbye.
Baby points.
Baby points. Everybody buy the book. Look how new he is. I can't even stand it. Hey, want to see something cool?
Do we look alike?
Is that something every father does? Because my husband says exactly the same thing.
Well, this is my third and the only one that looks like me, supposedly.
Well, maybe if you put your hands like this as if you had blonde hair.
Yes, yes.
That might actually do the trick.
Thanks for having me, Yvonne. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been awesome. Okay, hang on, baby cakes. You're going to see something cool if Miss Wonderful could make it work. Let's see if I picked the right one and did the right one. I'll take you off, put me on, and I can't find it. See, Jim, this is what I'm talking about.
Technology's a beast.
I'm just trying to be fancy.
Working
so we
now.
Can go back here. You make a great Rhonda, Jim.
Oh, don't say that. It's going to hurt her feelings. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening. If you have any questions, I'm at, you can find me on Twitter, @EntrepreneurJim, @EntrepreneurJim.
That's awesome. And everybody, tell the people about the radio show.
Oh, yeah. We have a radio show that goes over this every day. So we're on 5 days a week on 11 AM FM stations around the country and various internet platforms. So if you go to schoolforstartupsradio.com, we interview. You've been a guest on my show before, and every day 2 interviews trying to reinforce our idea that anyone can do it and trying to motivate you and giving you the skill set to achieve it.
Everybody go and check it out. You don't need to run a business based on your passion. You need to be passionate about the results of your business, something like that.
That's enough. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks a lot.